The Timber Mountain Log Ride opened to the public in June of 1969 and has been the #1 ridden attraction at the farm since that day. In 2012, Knott's Berry Farm decided that its most popular attraction deserves some tender loving care. Knott's Berry Farm enlisted the help of Garner Holt Productions, the world's largest designer and manufacturer of animated figures, to assist their in-house crew to enhance the beloved and historic attraction.
Well, Knott's came to us at toward the end of last year and asked us to look at completely refurbishing the log ride, and it's an iconic attraction. We were flattered and honored to be asked to work on this attraction. We have been asked to do just a complete rehab from a creative standpoint, audio and lighting concepts, sound, figures, special effects, show action equipment, scenery, props, and things like that. Complete refurbishment for the first time in, 30 years, over 30 years.
We're taking the original inspiration of Bud's Ride, that was opened in 1969, and building onto that, using new figures, new sets, new audio, and a new storyline that builds on our original 1880s camp theme into something using modern technology and modern storytelling forms that just weren't available at that time.
The changes that we're making are really exciting. We have so much more technology with animation nowadays, and we're able to enhance the figures. And figures are going to have, from a sculptural standpoint, they're going to be a much more realistic, down to the well-made, glass eyes that they have, all the way out to the hair punched in the faces and things. I mean, so many different methods and techniques we use nowadays were never used in those days. And it's going to be so much cleaner and brighter, and put high quality effects and high quality figures in there. And we're sticklers for detail, and these things, if you could get up close to them, you'd see all the little wrinkles and pores in their skin, and a whole different level than what was ever achieved before. The new animals that we're creating, some really highly specialized figure finishers that are great at making faux characters, what we call faux fur and faux characters, and specialize in figure finishing, that allow us to use synthetic materials to create the likenesses of animals that I think are, in some cases, people ask us to prove to them whether they're real or not.
In addition to the new human and animal figures, all new foliage will be installed both on the outside of the mountain as well as inside.
As far as the foliage goes, originally when the ride opened in 1969, all of the foliage in here was real. They were real trees, real bark, real branches, real pine, and real leaves. Everything now is going to be artificial. It's all custom made for Knott's Berry Farm. We're having specific specimens of plants and trees being brought in that would be in the California High Sierras. We're doing sagebrushes and black oaks and redwoods and sequoias and all kinds of different trees. We're actually even bringing in what we're calling wild boysenberries into the ride. So what we're looking at right here, this tree that's laying on the ground, this one is waiting for installation. Right here next to me is an I-beam. These I-beams run throughout the ride everywhere. And part of the process is to cover them and make them look like something. So what will happen is this log here will be split open, then it will be then wrapped around this I-beam and then attached and affixed to the I-beam. And then after it gets put up, the pipes that are at the top of the tree will then get branches, and then these are going to look like giant sequoias. All of the flags you see on the mountain behind me, those represent trees that were on the outside of the mountain. One of the features on the mountain is there were trees growing all over the outside of the mountain that haven't been logged yet. So we went through, climbed on the mountain, counted all the poles. There's approximately 200 trees on the outside of the mountain that are going to be replaced. One of my big things was about these trees, I wanted them to look natural. I wanted them to look like real trees. I didn't want them to look like Christmas trees. So we found a specimen of artificial tree that it's actually called a sequoia. It resembles a sequoia, but it has a much more natural look than your typical pyramid Christmas tree. So hopefully people will enjoy the new look of the trees.
After figures and foliage are installed, props and set pieces really bring the attraction together.
Our creative department has designed a lot of new scenes, you know, that are, we've borrowed from some of Bud's original concepts and actually included a number of our own. And some unique methods that we've used animatronics to contribute to this attraction that are never been done before.
The coming together of a group of talented and passionate people will reopen the Timber Mountain Log Ride on May 30th, hoping that their efforts will not only please the ardent fans of this classic attraction, but would also have pleased its designer.
We care a lot about the attraction. We care a lot about the continuity of it and making sure that the new scenes look correct, you know, with the existing scenes and some of the things that were kept. It's very important to us. You know, there's a big fan base out there, and you know, and we're fans too. And you know, we look at it from the standpoint of, you know, this was a very well done attraction in the beginning, and the minds that were put to work, you know, developing this early on, back in the 60s, you know, they had the right idea and they knew what they were doing. We're not, you know, we're not going to just walk in there and feel like we're going to change things. We're going to, you know, we're going to add to it and contribute to it and enhance it. But we're going to still keep the same theme and flavor and concept and everything. And we'd want Bud Hurlbut to ride through this and look at it and say, wow, this is what I wished I could have done in the beginning.